Hey guys, welcome to Shadow School Studios. It's Raeven Wolf. We're back in another Friday deck list. In this one, we're going after one of the Duskmourn commanders. New set's coming out. Gonna get ready for it. I'm gonna do some more of the other legendaries and decks for them in the future. I really enjoy the new set coming out, especially all the enchantment stuff that I can put in my Atraxa Enchantress commander. But yeah. Also, guys, I gotta ask for some more support. Please, if you enjoy my content, like and subscribe for more stuff in the future. Comment down below for interaction as well if you have any ideas about the deck, what you would add to it, what you would change, stuff like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Our commander this time is Valgavoth, Harrower of Souls, flying for evasion, ward pay 2 life for protection, and it goes with his last ability. Whenever an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, opponent will counter on Valgavoth, Harrower of Souls, and draw 1 card. So yep, he's gonna be getting bigger, we're gonna be drawing cards. Hopefully our opponents are gonna try and get rid of him and pay that ward. Invasion of Asgul. Enters the battlefield, target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and loses 1 life. So this one's gonna be kind of pseudo removal and life drain and menace at the beginning of your end step. Opponent counter on Ashen Reaper if a permanent was put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn. So hopefully it's gonna be a big dude that on our turn we can swing into our opponents. Going into our planeswalkers, all these specifically I've put in to make tokens for some way. So like Liliana, Dreadhorde General, when a creature we control dies, draw a card, +1, make a zombie, -4. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. The ultimate, each player chooses permanent they control of each permanent type, then sacrifices the rest. We're never going to get to that, but we're going to hopefully try and make some zombies for some of our synergies on the bottom. Next to list the adversary, Casualty X. Basically, we can make a copy of it with X as the loyalty. Each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. If you control a demon or devil, like our commander is a demon, gain 2 life. -2, create a 1/1 devil that when the creature dies, deal 1 damage to any target. We want those to die during our opponent's turn. And the -7, target player draws 7, loses 7. We don't care about. We care about the +1 for life gain and the -2 for making devils. Zariel, Archduke of Avernus, creature you control get +1/+0 and gain haste. And the 0 is making devils. Mostly the devils specifically. The +1 we could probably do, but yeah. We mostly just want to use her to keep making devils. Creatures, we have Agat, Instigator. For Offspring, and whenever another creature you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So specifically, if we have things that die, that if our non-token creatures die, they make creatures. So with that specifically, we will keep making dudes on our opponent's turns. Or if we have things like with Persist. And Anathiomancer, when it comes into play, will deal damage to target player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. This can deal huge amounts of damage. Anax Hardened Forge. When it or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 satyr. This creature cannot block. If the creature had power 4 or greater, create 2 of those tokens instead. Again, so if our non-token creature dies, our opponent's turn, we can make the satyr, which will deal damage. So yeah, synergies. Archetype of Finality. Creature control have Death Touch. When your opponent's control lose Death Touch and cannot have or gain it. That's going to be for our pingers. Ayara, first of Lockthwain. When she or another black creature enters the battlefield under control, each opponent loses 1 life. We gain 1 life. Sacrifice another black creature, draw a card. So this one specifically is going to go into just draining our opponent's life with any of our black creatures that we make on our opponent's turn or in the battlefield. And then we could sack another black creature to draw a card. Blister Spit Gremlin. Pay 1, tap it, deal 1 damage to each opponent. When we cast on a creature spell, untap it. It's going to be a creature that's going to be dealing damage to our opponents on their turn. Blood Artist, we're going to be using it to drain our opponents when our creatures die on their turn, hopefully. Brash Taunter, hopefully is a good blocker, and it's going to deal damage. to our opponents. Disciple of the Vault is when an artifact is put to a graveyard. So if our opponents want to sack their treasures or we use removal, stuff like that, we can drain our opponents. Dockside, which will go with Disciple of the Vault, but also get us some ramp. Flameblade Angel will let us burn our opponents. Fury Stoked Giant, if it dies on our opponent's turn, it'll come back and it turns all of our creatures into pingers. Gev Scaled Scorch, the ward 2 life. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional encounter on them for each opponent who lost life this turn. So with that and Fury Stroke, it will go infinite. If we have a sack outlet, we do. Grave Titan is just going to make us some tokens to go with Agate or like Impact Tremors or just creatures that if they were to die, stuff like that. Jessica, Warrior Adept, is a pinger. Mayhem Devil, again, is to go with like Disciple of the Vault, opponent's treasures, hit their opponent, stuff like that. Mogus God of the Slaughter. This one is to deal damage on our opponents every turn with our commander, unless they sack a creature. So either a creature is going to die, Blood Artist sees it, or our commanders, they're going to take the 2 damage, and our commander will get us counters, and we draw a card. Murrus Redcap is to go infinite with Gev. Just something to kind of like, punish our opponents at each of their turns. Perforos, with our persist creatures and stuff like that, again, deal damage to our opponents. Putrid Goblin, again, to go with Gev, to go infinite. Razorkin Needlehead is also to go with our commander, because on our opponent's turn, they draw a card, deals 1 damage to him. Rotten Mouth Hydra. This one is going to be a Torment of Hellfire on a stick, so we're going to be punishing our opponents as much as possible. Rugged Smothering is the anti-Aetherflux Reservoir, so it's going to punish our opponents if they try and storm off. Sir Conrad the Grim. When a creature dies, put in a graveyard from any other battlefield, or leaves graveyard, punches opponents, boom, goes with our commander. Volshock Sorcerer, another pinger, and Zulapur Cutthroat as another form of Blood Artist for our creatures dying. So yeah, we are essentially trying to, again, burn our opponents on their turn and set up a bunch of it. For sorceries, we have Blasphemous Act for removal, Damnation, Justice Will for ramp, Reanimate, and Toxic Deluge for another board wipe. So yeah, we got 3 board wipes, we got ramp. For instance, we have Arc Bond for removal and a board wipe, Dark Ritual for ramp, Kill, Maim, Burn for removal, Lightning Bolt, Terminate, and Tragic Slip. Again, we got a bunch of removal. Going to artifacts, we have Alter Dementia to sack creatures on our opponent's turn. We can also mill them with Sir Conrad. Of course, Arcane Signet, Ashnod's Altar, again, sack our stuff. Basilisk Collar is to hopefully gain life with our pingers and Death Touch for removal. Commander Sphere, Crowded Crypt is our, hopefully when we have a bunch of counters on it, sack it, make a bunch of tokens on our opponent's turn, burn them. Goblin Charbelcher, again, it's basically going to be a pinger. Lightning Greaves to protect our commander. Soul Ring, Vidalcan Ori, so we can do all our stuff at flash speed. Wand of Orcus is to hopefully make ourselves some tokens, and it gives our thing Death Touch. Only on attack though. Whip of Erebos for lifelink. And Whisper Silk Cloak, again, to protect our commander, and then we can go in with commander damage. For our enchantments, we have Aether Sting. Our opponents cast a creature spell, they take a damage. Bash Remembrance, another Blood Artist trigger. Blight Mounds, when things die, we make creatures. Dance of the Dead for recursion. Gauntlet of Bombardment for another sack outlet and damage. Haunting Winds to burn our opponents when they activate a artifact. That's not a mana ability. Impact Tremors to go with the Agate Instigator. Mechanized Warfare to deal more damage to our opponents. Necromancy for more recursion. Outpost Siege for more burn. Polluted Bonds are going to punish our opponents for playing lands. And Unnatural Hunger is going to deal damage to our opponent equals that creature's power unless they sack another creature. So again, this is removal And if our opponent has a gigantic threat on board, they're going to have to, take damage or sack something. Lands, I went pretty basic. Akoum Refuge, Blightstep Pathway, Blood Crypt, Bloodfell Caves, Bojuka Bog, Command Tower, Dragon Skull Summit, Exotic Orchard, and Graven Caverns, Mountain times 12, and Swamp times 12. So again, this is going to be a burn deck for our opponents, stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, we're going to go and play test it now. Playtest. Draw a card. Immediately we'll do a mountain. Next turn, Blood Artist. Next turn, ooh, we could do a Jeska's Will on our opponent. Hopefully get 7 red mana. Well, that's 7 red mana. We're supposed to Cloak. Perforos. Next turn, Mountain. Cast Commander. And now we have 2 damage to our opponent, but won't do anything. Next turn, here we go. We're going to do Putrid Goblin. And we're going to equip. We're supposed to Cloak to Blood Artist. And now we have a blocker. So say it comes back with a -1/- counter. We draw a card. Put a counter on our commander. Here we go with this. I would hold up mana for like Kill Main Burn. So let's say on our opponent's turn, we cast Kill Main Burn, throw it in the graveyard, blow up an artifact, destroy target creature, which makes your opponent lose life, and we deal 3 damage to target creature or player. Nope, target player. So yep, we're gonna draw a card, add another counter to our commander. Then we could do Mayhem Devil, which will hopefully our opponents are charging off. We'll burn them, drawing a card, adding a counter with our commander. Of course, we could have also been swinging. And now we have Haunting Wind. So again, yeah, this is a really good synergy deck. And with the effects on turn 5 is pretty good. Restart. We'll try and run it. We'll do a Swamp. Next turn, Mountain. We have Charged Exclip ready. Next turn, we're going to do a Mountain. Do Annex. Next turn, we're going to do Mogus. Now our opponents on that are specifically going to have to do some stuff. For this one, we're going to do Swamp, cast Commander, and cast a Blister Spit Gremlin. Now our opponent's turns, we could basically hopefully draw 3 cards and put counters on our commander. But yeah, so again, really good. Turn 5, we have an engine going. Let's go ahead and restart. Let's see. Yeah, this could kind of work. We'll draw for turn 1. We'll play Refuge to gain a life. On our next turn, we'll do Command Tower. And I want to do Disciple of the Vault first. Next turn, we'll do an Exotic Orchard. And we could do a Terminate if we wanted to, depending on what our opponents have this turn. Mountain. Commander. Next turn, we'll do Mountain. Cast Jeska's Will. Say we get 6 mana. We'll do a Goblin Charbelcher. And we'll pay the 1. We'll activate it. For reveal, until we reveal a land card, a Mountain or a Goblin, we deal double that amount of damage. So we'll say we tap these. Yeah, so we get a Mountain, and we deal 2 damage to something on our opponent's turn. But it doesn't matter because we're doing it on our turn. Does this card go to our hand? The bottom. Bottom of the library. There you go. Next turn, we can play a Swamp. And quite easily, we could just do Ashnod's Altar. And then hold up mana for a Goblin Charbelcher on our opponent's turn. So say we activate it, and we go until we hit a land card. There we go. So now we do 4 damage on our opponents. We draw a card, add a counter to our commander, and then shift L, 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 L. Now this turn, what we could easily do, I'm going to leave the command tower open. We'll do Grave Titan, Zombie, Zombie. I'm going to get rid of this one because we don't make ones with Decayed. There we go. So we make 2 zombies. Now, what we could do on our opponent's turn is easily we can sack the 2 zombies. We have 4 mana. We activate Goblin Charbelcher, dealing 1 damage on our opponent. But that's fine. We still draw a card, add a counter, and then on another opponent's turn, we'll do Lightning Bolt to draw a card and add a counter. So yeah, we have many ways to make this deck run. Let's go ahead and playtest it one more time. Sure, I'll gamble this deck. We'll draw. Easy enough. We'll do Command Tower. Next turn, we'll do Cairn, Blood Artist. Next turn, Swamp, Volshock Sorcerer. Boom. Now we can ping our opponents 1/1s, losing life. Next turn, we're going to do Mountain, and we're going to do Volshock Sorcerer. Or not Volshock, we'll do Valgavoth. Now, on our opponent's turn, we can ping them. We're going to draw a card, add a counter to our commander. Boom, our deck's automatically online. Now we do a Swamp. We could do Ayara. So yeah, let's see if we do Ayara. Now, during our opponent's turn, so we're going to ping them again. Oh crap. I forgot. We have to go to next turn. There we go. Which then we'll do Ayara. On that, we draw a card, add a counter to our commander. Then we could do that. Then we gain a life. Now we have a Zulaport. If we ping him again, we're doing more stuff. So let's go ahead. Turn 6. Do a Coom Refuge, sure. Boom. Now with this one, probably we could hold off because we can reanimate any one of our opponent's creatures and stuff like that. But we'll say we're going into turn 7. We draw a card, gain a thing. Turn 7. Mostly, we could do Liliana. If we wanted to, we could also do Sir Conrad. We could ramp with Jessica the Will. So again, we have energy. This deck will work. It's gonna be a little clunky, and you have to like look for certain pieces and put those pieces to work. I wish there was more ramp, but if you had like a Mana Vault or Mana Crypt, you could easily put it in the deck to ramp out into some of the bigger pieces like Liliana or Flame Blade or Sir Conrad. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Going into it, this deck is a little expensive, but again, this is the building it as cheap as possible. It's a $480 deck. One of the cards that could come out is the Battle. You could easily add in another kill spell or like Swiftfoot Boots to protect the commander, stuff like that. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I really love the artwork for Valgavoth. I really like the aspect of him. But yeah, I'll see y'all again next time, guys. Bye-bye.